Chinese Classics. Journey to the West. Chapter 3 Monkey King Makes Trouble in the Heavenly Palace. Hades, Yama and Dragon King came to the Jade Emperor and sued Monkey King for making trouble in the Dragon Palace and the underworld. The Jade Emperor is about to send heavenly soldiers and heavenly generals to the world to conquer Monkey King. At this time, Tai Bai Jinxing came out and gave the Jade Emperor an idea, saying that it would be better to give him an official position and trap him in the sky. The Jade Emperor agreed and ordered Wen Chuxing to write an edict, asking Tai Bai Jinxing to invite Wukong to heaven. Tai Bai Venus obeyed the order to come to Huagashan and read the imperial edict. Monkey King was very happy when he heard that, and ordered the monkeys to take care of the house. And he followed Tai Bai Venus to the Lingxia Palace on the cloud. Tai Bai Jinxing saluted the Jade Emperor and said, "Wukong is here." The Jade Emperor asked, "Who is Wukong?" Wukong heard it, neither bowed nor bowed, and agreed casually, "I am." Others. The god was very angry when he saw that Wukong was impolite. The Jade Emperor had nothing to do with Wukong, so he listened to Wu Chuxingjun's suggestion to let Wukong show the horse to the Jade Emperor. This official position is the smallest in the sky, and it took Wukong half a month to find out. Angrily, he took out the golden cudgel, slammed out of the Nantian Gate, returned to Huagua Mountain, and proclaimed himself the great sage of Monkey King. Another big banner was made and placed on the Huagua Mountain. When the Jade Emperor heard that Sun Wukong had returned to Huagua Mountain, he immediately ordered Totally Tianwang and the third Prince Nurja to lead troops to capture Wukong. Unexpectedly, within a few rounds between vanguard officer Giant Lingshan and Wukong, Xuanuoxuan would be divided into two pieces. Nurja made his hair stand up at first sight, yelled, turned into 3 heads and 6 arms, holding 6 weapons and fighting Wukong. Wukong did not show weakness, changed his body, and turned into 3 heads and 6 arms, holding 3 golden hoop sticks against Nurja for a long time. Still, regardless of the outcome, Wukong secretly pulled out a Velis hair to become himself and fight with Nurja, but his real body walked around behind Nurja, raised his stick and hit him. Nurja couldn't dodge, was hit in the left arm, so painful that he could not fight back, turned and ran. After hearing this, the Jade Emperor was very angry, and prepared to send more soldiers to fight against Monkey King. At this time, Tai Bai Jinxing came up with another idea and said, "It's better to make Sun Wukong a famous and powerless Monkey King, and let him do nothing. Just leave him in the sky, so as not to send someone to beat him and hurt his soldiers." General, the Jade Emperor felt reasonable after hearing this, so he sent Tai Bai Jinxing to make peace. After Wukong heard about it, he was very happy, and came to Tiangong again with Tai Bai Jinxing. The Jade Emperor immediately asked him to build a Qitian Grand Sacred Mansion on the right side of Pantoyuan for Monkey King. Monkey King is a monkey in the end. He only knows his reputation and does not ask whether he has real power. He spends his whole day commensurate with the gods as brothers, eating, drinking, and having fun in the mansion. Today, he travels eastward and turns west tomorrow, freely. After a long time, the Jade Emperor was afraid that Wu would be free to cause trouble, so he asked him to take charge of Pantoyuan. There are 200 peach trees in the front, middle and back of the Toyuan. The first tree matures for 3,000 years and becomes immortal if eaten. The middle tree matures for 6,000 years and can live forever if eaten. The latter one matures for 9,000 years. And after eating it, it will shine with the sun and the moon, and the world will live long. One day, when he saw that most of the peaches in the garden were ripe, he wanted to taste something fresh. So he secretly ran into the garden, took off his clothes, climbed up the tree, and ate the ripe peaches. From then on, every 2 or 3 days, he tried to steal a peach. The annual Flat Peach meeting has arrived. One day, 7 fairies came to the garden to pick peaches at the order of the Queen Mother. It just so happened that Monkey King was full of peaches and felt a little sleepy. He became a little man about 2 inches long and fell asleep in a cool place on the top of the big tree. Seeing that there were not many ripe peaches in the garden, the 7 fairies looked around for a long time, and finally found a ripe peach on the top of a big tree. So they tore off the top of the tree. Unexpectedly, Wukong happened to be sleeping on this tree, was awakened, and changed back to his original appearance. He took out the golden hoop and yelled, "Who dares to steal the peach?" The 7 fairies were so scared that they all knelt down, explaining the reason for coming here. Wukong asked Pantao who he had invited, and when he knew he didn't have him, he was very angry. He fixed the 7 fairies with the fixation method, and then drove the cloud to Yachi. At this time, the immortals who came to the banquet had not yet arrived. Only the servant was setting up the banquet. So Wukong plucked his vellus hair, turned into a sleeper, and put it on the servant's face. These people immediately fell asleep. He jumped to the table, picked up the wine, and drank happily. He walked out of Yachi after eating and drinking, and walked into the palace of Taishang La Jun in a daze. When there was no one in the palace, he poured out all the golden pills in the 5 gourds and ate them. Thinking of getting into a catastrophe, you may not be able to save your life. So he went back to Yachi, stole a few cans of good wine, and went back to Huagishan. When the Jade Emperor heard the report, he lost his temper and ordered Li Tianwang and Prince Nurja to lead 100,000 heavenly soldiers and celestial generals, and lay 18 layers of heaven and earth nets, and must capture Wukong back. But the heavenly soldiers and generals weren't Wukong's opponents. They were defeated one by one. Therefore, Guanyin Bodhisattva suggested that the Xianxing Erlang from Guanzhongku should go to Huagishan to capture Monkey King. The god Erlang was ordered to lead the 6 Maishan brothers, order some elite soldiers, and kill Huagishan. He asked Li Tianwang to stand in the air holding the demon mirror, facing Wukong, and challenge himself in front of the water curtain cave. Wukong went out of the hole to face off, and he was inextricably fought with Erlang Shen. Seeing that Wukong couldn't take care of them at this time, the 6 Maishan brothers took the opportunity to enter the Shuilian cave. Seeing that his nest was destroyed, Wukong panicked. He turned into a sparrow and wanted to run. Erlang turned into a sparrow-catching eagle. Shaking his wings and pecking at the sparrow, Wukong hurriedly turned into a great cormorant again, and charged to the sky. Erlang God hurriedly turned into a big sea crane, dived into the clouds to pounce. Wukong swished into the water at first sight and turned into a fish. Shen Erlang saw Wukong in the mirror, and became an osprey. He waited on the water. When Wukong saw it, he hurriedly changed into a water snake, rushed to the shore, and then became a flower bustard, standing on the reeds. God Erlang saw that he had become too humble, so he ignored him, changed back to his original appearance, took out the slingshot, and hit the bustard, hitting Wukong unsteady. Wukong took the opportunity to roll down the hillside and turned into a temple of the earth. God Erlang chased him and saw a flagpole standing behind the temple. He knew that Wukong had changed. He picked up the weapon and smashed towards the door. Wukong saw that he was seen and went to the last time he jumped. He changed back to the original and ran away, and the god Erlang chased after him on the cloud. The 2 men walked and fought, and then came to Huagua Mountain. Heavenly soldiers and gods from all walks of life rushed up and surrounded Wukong. The old man who was watching the battle at Nanshanmen took the opportunity to throw Jingongdrua towards Wukong. Wukong was hit in the head and fell. Erlang's snarling dog ran up and bit Wukong, while the other gods rushed to hold Wukong, and tied the peepaw bone with an iron chain. Monkey King was tied to the demon-slashing platform. But no matter whether he was chopped with a knife or an axe or burned with thunder, he couldn't hurt a single hair. Taishan Law Jun initiates the Jade Emperor and puts Wukong in the gossip furnace for smelting. Therefore, Wukong was taken to the palace of Daoxis, and the gods pushed him into the gossip furnace, and the burning boy slammed the fire with a fan. Wukong jumped around in the furnace, and accidentally jumped to the position of Sunda Palace. There was only smoke but no fire, and the smoke was very strong, so he bent down and squatted inside. 49 days passed, and the Supreme Master ordered to open the furnace door. Wukong suddenly heard a noise from the furnace top, raised his head and saw a light, jumped out of the alchemy furnace, kicked the furnace, turned and ran. Not only did Monkey King fail to be melted, but instead he had a pair of fiery eyes. He took out the golden hoop from his ear and shook it in the wind until it became as thick as the mouth of the bowl. Wukong picked up the wishful stick, pointed it all the way to the west, hitting the Lingxia Palace, shouting loudly, "The Emperor takes turns. Old man, Jade Emperor, you move out quickly and give me the palace. Or give you some. Take a look." Fortunately, there are 36 Thunder Generals and 28 constellations to protect him, and the Jade Emperor can get away. The Jade Emperor immediately sent someone to the West Heaven to invite the Buddha. Upon hearing the Tathagata, he took the two venerables, Anuo and K, to the outside of the Lingxia temple, ordered to stop fighting, and told Wukong to come out to see what he was capable of. Wukong looked at the Tathagata angrily, and didn't pay attention to the Tathagata at all. Tathagata Buddha stretched out his palm and said, "If you have the ability to turn out my palm in a somersault, I will persuade the Jade Emperor to go to the west and give you your seat." Wukong didn't know that it was a trick, and he was very happy. "So put the golden cudgel in your ear, make a light jump, stand in the palm of Tathagata Buddha, and shout, 'I'm going.'" A somersault. Without a trace, Wukong drove forward like Yunfei, and suddenly saw 5 flesh-red pillars in front of him, thinking that this must be the horizon, and the pillars must be used to support the sky. And then he stopped. He was afraid of going back to see Tathagata without proof. So he pulled out a vellus hair, turned it into a pen, and wrote the 8 characters, "The great sage of Chitian is here for a tour," on a pillar in the middle. After finishing writing, I collected the vellus hair, and then ran to the first pillar and sprinkled a bubble of monkey urine. Then he drove up the somersault cloud and returned to the palm of the Tathagata Buddha and said, "If your words count, you can quickly ask the Jade Emperor to take his seat." Tathagata said that Monkey King did not leave his palm at all. Wukong refused to accept it, and wanted to come and see the evidence he had left in the horizon. Tathagata Buddha did not go. He asked Wukong to look at the middle finger of his right hand, and then smell the root of his thumb. Wukong opened his eyes with fiery eyes, and saw the 8 characters written by him on the right middle finger of the Buddha, and there was some monkey urine in his thumb. Wukong said in surprise, "I don't believe it. I don't believe it at all. Why is it in your hand when I write the words on the pillar that supports the sky? Wait until I see it." Wukong turned around and wanted to run. The Buddha's eyes were quick and his backhand fluttered, pushing Wukong out of Xishanmen, and his 5 fingers were turned into 5 Lianshan mountains of gold, wood, water, fire, and earth. They named this Lianshan 5 elements. Mountain. Firmly pressing Wukong under the mountain, all the gods in the sky greet Anuo and Kaya with their palms together one by one. When the Jade Emperor saw that the Buddha had suppressed Monkey King, he was very happy, and immediately sent an order to set up an Antian conference to thank the Buddha. After a while, the gods from all walks of life were invited, and the Jade Emperor ordered to open the Taishuan Palace and the Dongyang Jade Pavilion. Invite the Buddha to sit on the Chibaoling stage. And the gods from all walks of life sent congratulatory gifts. K accepted the gifts one by one. While the gods were drinking and listening to the song, The inspector came back and reported the demon monkey has his head out. When the Buddha heard it, he took out a post from his sleeve, which read, "Well, what? B?" asked Anuo and K to put it on a square stone on the top of the Five Elements mountain. The seam of the mountain immediately closed, and Monkey King could no longer come out. When the Tathagata Buddha returned to the western heaven, he passed by Wuxing Mountain and expressed his compassion again. He called the mountain god to live on this mountain with Wufang Jager, imprison Wukong, and said to them, "If he is hungry, give it to him." He ate some iron balls, and when he was thirsty, he gave him the molten copper water. 500 years later, when his sentence expires, someone will come to rescue him. Thank you very much. See you next time.